We're on.
Okay, first and foremost, we want to say
Allah Yahweh wa Yahushai Ba'Shem Racha Kudash.
double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Salutations to the elect pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. And death and destruction to his wicked kingdom, the true friends of Israel as well. He would get Revelation 18. Get that. Yeah.
Starting from verse 1. This is in the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 1. It says, "And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having the great power. And the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and become the habitation of devils."
Now, this scripture alone flies over many people's heads, especially Christians, because Babylon was a city that was thriving way before the book of Revelation was written. So how the heck did John see Babylon as in the vision falling when this already happened and Revelation is supposed to speak of the future?
Yeah.
That would only lead you to question that it's talking about Babylon in today's time.
Yeah.
And the spiritual city, the city that's spiritually Babylon and Egypt is America. You know?
Yeah, because when you look at the philosophies of America, everything goes back into, the ancient Babylon. They literally pretty much took all the customs from ancient Babylon, Sodom and Gomorrah, etc., right? And they've pretty much amplified and even more the wickedness, right? Like, back in Babylon, ancient Babylon, you had a lot of homosexuality, you had a lot of wickedness going on. And today's Babylon, which is America, because America is pretty much the father of all these nations, man. Okay, all these nations take up the vibration of what America pushes out there, man. Okay, though they like to say, oh, we are independent. Nah, they like to, tell you that and lie to you. But really, as soon as America has, its military base, force in your land, that's when they're holding contradict, man. And that's why the scripture says that the earth, it didn't say specific lands. It says that the earth is giving into the hand of the wicked, man.
Yeah, the whole world. The whole world.
That's right.
There's many ways that these banker families, which is the higher echelons of Edom, there's many ways that they have used to take over the world, man. Not just through the way of, they've taken the world over through the way of religion.
Yeah.
Okay, the financial structure.
Yeah, the military.
The military, that's their biggest avenues, the military.
Religion.
I think America has about, they say, it's just crazy, America has about 55,000 nukes. China has about 30. Russia about 33. America is actually known right now as a superpower among the world. There was another nation that was called, there was only 2 superpowers among the world in the last about almost, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 100 years. Okay, and America was one of them, and another nation was one of them, but the other nation dropped down, and now America is considered the only superpower.
Yeah.
55,000 nukes. That means if there's any disagreement within nations with another nation in America, worst comes to worst, they can just threaten the whole nation and will bomb you because they have more nukes than you. And when it really comes down to money, oil, and war, the nation with the biggest guns are gonna win every single time.
Yeah,
and that's why these other nations getting fed up with America, man, because they're living under America's thumb.
Yeah, exactly.
They're getting fed up with that.
Yeah, and also I want to add, and that's why America is in such great debt.
Yeah.
Because they spend majority, 90% I should say, of their finances towards, buying military and weapons, man.
Yeah. Biological weapons.
Yeah.
You got weapons that they got weapons within pestilence, illnesses. You know, they can take out nations without even putting a hand on them.
Yeah, just by spreading chemtrails over their land.
Exactly. And it's funny because Esau, this is what we were saying last week about Esau not having any balance, because it's almost like Esau is using America and Canada as their own testing grounds of all their biological weapons. They sprinkle chemtrails all day long in this society, man.
Yeah. Yep.
They poison our food, they poison our air, they poison our water.
Yeah.
These are all what all we basically are is guinea pigs.
That's why they like to call us useless eaters.
Useless eaters.
Yeah.
You know, so that when they actually get busy and start, terrorizing other nations, they know it's worked because they've already tried it here.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But that's exactly what they do is, they even show you in movies, man, okay, that they pretty much like to quarantine, a certain city and do some testing and see what works and what doesn't work and what is the end result, how many people survive. Like, they like to go through a lot of trials. That's why when a major event happens where you say like 50 people shot dead, etc., a lot of it is false flag, man.
Yeah,
Because Esau wants to try to get your reaction and see how people have reacted to it, and he studies that shit, man.
Man, Esau, man, these Edomites, they know so much about the human mind, and that's why they have control over the news. Them having control over the news and what's being shown to the masses and the public is very powerful, because they only show you propaganda that keeps you within the circle, keeps you at bay. They're gonna push out the news on a rapper dying, on two famous people becoming a couple, becoming a family. The news at one point, it's kind of died down now, but the news on that rapper that passed away, Nipsey Hussle, was huge. All forms of social media, okay, was filled up with this guy dying, his memorial, and all that.
Yeah.
What about what's happening? What about the update on Venezuela?
Yeah.
What about the update on Ebola?
Yeah.
That false flag. No one even knows. No, that was just a year ago.
Yeah. Well, just recently, there's this thing called the Black Death, where, like, if you catch it, it'll kill you in, like, a matter of, like, a day or minutes, right? And pretty much, they say that the cause of the so-called Black Death is one person slept with a squirrel. Esau is wicked, bro.
Yo, that's messed up.
Esau is wicked, yo. And so, like, when the apostles were going over it, they're like, hey, man, you brothers out there, man, don't be fooling with those squirrels,
Up,
So it goes to show you, man, that Esau, bro, everybody knows that shit came from a lab.
Oh, yeah, that's man-made.
Everybody knows that shit was man-made, and they use these things, and then they lie to you and tell you that, oh, it came from here or it came from there.
Yes.
When really Esau's the one that's, that has, exactly, he's the one that designed it, man. And he pushed it out there to see what works and what doesn't work, man.
Yep, just try and error.
Yeah. And it says, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Now this is twofold, because it's in the future, because once America gets finished and gets bombed and becomes a wasteland, it's going to be the habitations of all types of foul beasts. But right now, America still is the habitation of all wickedness, man. And foul beasts, like if you talk about our people. Ezra's compared our people to wild beasts. You got all types of wickedness happening in America. You got festivals that celebrate wickedness, but at the same time promote the Bible.
Yeah.
Within the same festival.
Yeah, and even when they try to push out so-called righteousness, there's still wicked powers behind it, man. Like they even tell you about in that one, that one documentary about health on Netflix. I believe it was called, like I forget. Like about something eats or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, that documentary, talks, and tells you about how like a lot of these so-called, I'm a breast cancer, like our societies or whatever, like when they try to push out the whole idea of like we need to help women and this and that. A lot of their food that they promote actually increases the chances of a woman getting breast cancer, man. You know, like they.
None of these foods that we eat in the society is to promote.
Question.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been here doing this?
A long time.
About like 5 years now.
Yeah. Long time. So, yeah, and so it goes to show you,
And you
man.
believe in the astrology?
What's that?
You believe in astrology?
We do to a certain
Yes.
extent.
Because I'm a Leo lion myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, like this has nothing to do with astrology.
No, I do understand that.
Yeah.
You're actually
This has
telling
everything to do
what,
with the
yeah,
Bible.
how you guys, well, how the
Yeah.
Israelis
These
have come
Israelites,
to,
actually.
Israelites have come together and to be one, and where you know, well, you believe in your culture and what you're trying to preach.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And pretty much like what we're saying is that these people right here that you see, Judah, they're actually the so-called Negroes of the Bible. Like this is what the Bible says who the 12 tribes of the children of Israel are. The people that are living in Israel today are not the true Hebrew Israelites of the scriptures, because they follow the complete opposite of what the Lord has taught in the scriptures. They don't even believe in the Lord like that, And so what we're saying is that when you connect the dots, the people that went into slavery, because slavery is in the scriptures, the people that went into slavery, the people that are living in the ghettos today, those are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible talks about, and that's who the world called Jesus Christ is coming back to deliver and to save. Because these are the people that actually need deliverance. This is who they are known as today, the so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, so-called Native American Indians, and Cubans, but these are their biblical nationality over here on this side.
Interesting.
Very
good.
But yeah, just like as I was
the
saying,
food is
yeah,
not,
exactly. The food and everything, that we eat today is all, genetically modified organisms, right? GMOs, right? The air is polluted, the water that we drink kills you slowly, man. And that's why they talk about how they want to reduce the population, but people look at us like we're crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like I remember telling my woman that, and she's like, man, that's inhumane. No, there's no way they're gonna do that. You know what I mean? And so it goes to show you that, that
Esau's not even a human.
right, that the people in the world are actually, they've become so comfortable and they've formed themselves and they've built lives for themselves in this world that they cannot see anything outside of what the world is going to harm them with. You know what I mean? Like they can't picture it. They can't picture a group of families, right? Like 12 families who are going to literally exterminate, half the planet, more than half the planet.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can't see that, man. Because they've been lied to. They've been dumped down and lied to, and now when they hear the truth, right? It's like almost like a jerk reaction, They just like, it's almost like they react to it in a negative way. Nah, hell no. You're lying.
That's how good Esau's condition, or how deep Esau's condition is.
Yeah.
Especially when he's telling Jacob out of all people should believe Esau is totally against him.
Never trust that enemy, man. Right? Though as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Yeah.
Iron is pretty much inevitable, right? That is going to rust. So a wicked person, eventually his wickedness will show.
Yeah.
His wickedness will definitely show. And it says, verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
That's right. So what is drinking the wine, the wrath of her fornication? Well, the wrath is coming from Yahweh, while Yahweh shot. The fornication is all the type of nonsense that they deal with, man. For instance, America is supposed to be a God-fearing country, and they claim to be a God-fearing country. But homosexuality is rampant in that society.
It's becoming normal.
It's becoming a norm. And it's even now, homosexuality, the ideal and the person behind it are actually, there's laws coming out to protect them. So, that's complete contradiction. So, of course, there's going to be wrath. And guess what? all these other nations across that are neighboring to America have drunken of that wine.
Right.
You know, that stuff is rampant over here, just like it be rampant in America.
Right.
You know, you got nations from the other side of the world who have drunken of that wine. The whole world is being engulfed in Esau's in America's wickedness, and therefore they're going to taste of the wrath that's going to be coming. That's going to come of that.
Yeah. That's right, Ak. And it says, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich.
That's right, man. Like these other ambassadors or basically the kings of all these other nations, the UN, when they come together and have their round talk, their table talks, round talks, these other nations, like the leaders of these other nations, are in alignment with America and their agenda of the New World Order and all types of wickedness that they have planned to come up.
Yeah, and one thing about that is that when they get together and they have their meetings, right? No leader of the Israelites of like Jake's are in there, man, because their plan is to get rid of us. Anyways.
That's with Psalm 80.
They have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." Right?
Yeah, they're not gonna bring Jacob in those meetings, man.
Yeah. No.
That is Esau and all the rest of the heathens of the world.
Yeah. So so pretty much we're gonna have all the leaders of the heathen nations in there, coming up with ideas on how to get rid of us, man.
Yeah. At the end of the day, there's no room for Jake in this world, man. It's either Jake's a slave, and even if Jake's a slave, eventually you get rid of Jake because they don't. You know what, man? Esau's not dumb. They know that Jake, in their spirit, evidently is built to revolt against Esau, against them.
Yeah.
So even if they keep them as a slave, they're not gonna. Even if they're, if Jake's playing the slave right now, evidently Esau would like to have no Jake on this planet whatsoever.
Yeah.
Just like when Pharaoh said, "Come, let us cut them off, kill them quickly before they, they make friends with our enemies and make us and overthrow us."
But the scripture says that the more that they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and
grew, man. You
know
what I mean? Like Jake likes fucking, man. Jake like making babies and stuff. And that's a blessing from the Most High.
Yeah. And so really, you're not doing yourself a favor by trying to cut Jake off, because they're just going to get more and more.
Exactly.
And then even on top of that, you got Jakes that are, what's it called? They have blended themselves within the heathen nations, right?
Yeah, so you can't really, you can't get rid of all of Jake.
And then, these heathen nations are carnal people, so they won't be able to see an Israelite that looks like an Edomite.
That shit frustrates Esau because he doesn't have technology to tell whether it's Jake or
And that's why, they came up with that whole thing about your, what's it called? Your Ancestry.com or something like that.
Yeah.
Where they try to find your, what's it called?
Yeah, trying to find your lineage.
Yeah, exactly.
That shit's whack. That's just Esau's way of targeting who's Jake and who's not.
Yeah.
Alright, you're on the list, get rid of him.
And it says, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
That's right, man. There's a thing called the petrodollar. Okay, the petrodollar is a board of that shows all types of trading between all different nations across the world. And America being the snake that it is, okay, got into bed with Pakistan. And Pakistan is known across the world to have the richest oil, the most amount of oil. So that now that any other nation that would need oil would have to buy oil because Pakistan is in alignment and agreement with America and their allies, they would have to buy Pakistan's oil in American dollars. So to get American dollars, you have to do trade with America. So every other nation has been made rich through the vine of America. But they're getting sick and tired of that because what they didn't see in the beginning, when they were making those trades with America is that now America has control of your nation. Because as a nation, you need oil. You need oil for your machinery to run, for businesses to stay up. To do anything, you need oil. It's a fuel for anything. But if you need your oils from Pakistan, and Pakistan is in the line, it's like, no, you can't buy our oil unless you get American dollars. Okay, now I gotta go to America and trade. So America has got their hands in everybody else's plate, everybody else's house.
Yeah, and that's why it says that these kings have drunk of her wine.
For wine, and you know what? In the beginning, America's smart. Because in the beginning, it was nice. It wasn't like how it is now. They were getting their fill.
Yeah.
They were getting their money. They were getting their resources. The higher, the basically higher echelons of every nation, whether it be India or wherever it be, they were living lavishly and living nice. Because the majority of the money that they got, or the trades, or the resources that they got, would go to them first and their families, and then the crumbs of whatever resource they got, whatever riches they got, would go to the actual society and the economy. But now they're now the families that are, that were living lavishly from America's trades are now not living lavishly from America's trades. They're actually getting the shit end of the deal.
Yeah.
Every single time when it comes with America.
Yeah, and that also goes into how, like, you have a lot of these Edomites who are on the lower level, and they're not getting a part of the deal that their bigger brother has, which is, the Rothschilds, right? The banking families, etc., right? And so a lot of these two-time loser Edomites, right? They're, pretty much feeling the effect, right? And they're getting pissed off, and now they're also exposing the higher echelons, man. Which goes to show you, that's what the scripture says, that if you can fight against yourself shall not stand, man. Right? And if Satan fight against Satan, then he's not going to stand, man. Exactly. And so everything is pretty much coming to fruition, man. And the Lord Yahweh Shai, again proves unto you that he does not lie and he keeps his words, man.
Yeah, man. It's crazy because all of this is why when all hell breaks loose, this is why it's very important now to make sure you're studying and staying in the word, because when all hell breaks loose, the knowledge of this is what's going to keep you calm. It's what's going to make you strong in those days, because everybody else is going to be running around crazy, killing each other, killing themselves, for not knowing what's going on, for a lack of knowledge, for the lack of the truth. Then we do all this type of stuff. But us, who've been showing favor and grace from the Most High and His Son, Lord willing, we have the elect, we're going to be all right. We're going to be calm in those days. Yes, the elect should be scarcely saved, but compared to the rest of the world, come on, man, that's like they're stoics. They're calm.
That's right. That's true, man. And it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
That's right.
That's
right, and that's exactly what's happening right now. The Most High, you have a Shai, the apostles, and all the other brothers across the world doing this work, are calling out to the elect to come out of her, man. And not just come out of America itself, the land, but come out of the mindset of America, the philosophies, the beliefs, the traditions. If you're celebrating Christmas and worshiping, Jesus Christ, cut that shit out. Stop doing that.
The philosophies of America is going to kill you.
Exactly. The philosophies of America are going to kill you. And that's what's happening right now.
And it says, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
That's right, man, because there's going to be all types of destruction upon America. All types of destruction.
For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Lord Yahweh Shai hath remembered her iniquities.
The crazy thing is that with all that we know, searching out Esau's wickedness, making Esau bare and naked, and with all the apostles know, there's still so much that Esau has done that we don't know of yet.
Verse 6, reward her even as she rewarded thee, and double unto her, double according to her works in the cup which she had filled, fill to her double.
So how was America built? Off the backs of the Negroes. The
Yeah.
blood, sweat, and tears of Negroes. Alright? And it's still, you know, without Negroes, America would be finished. Without Jake, America would be, if all Jake just hopped up and left America, America's economy would crash.
That's, yeah.
It would crash because the found before when the slave trade was when slavery was a myth, everybody knew that America's economy was based off of slavery.
Yeah.
Everybody knew it was well known. Now it's a lot more hidden because now Esau's put some of their own people in there. You got so-called white people into businesses now, starting up businesses. You got Moab starting up businesses in America. You got all these other nations starting up businesses in America. But guess who the co-workers of all those businesses are? Jake.
Yeah.
So it still goes back to Jake. You know?
Yeah, that's right, man. Because, like the brother's saying, is that if it all comes to it, if we just say, you know what, tomorrow we're not gonna go to work, all of us, right? All of us, Jakes, right? This society will crumble down, and it goes to show you as well. Like even if Esau tries to, depopulate the earth, right? And he tries to get rid of all the Israelites. The scripture says that we are the salt of the earth, man, and that Jake is the former of all things. So if Esau does that, it's to his own destruction. You know, he's literally wiping himself away because this earth cannot stand without Israelites, man. You know, because the earth was made for our sakes, right?
Exactly.
If you take the main part of what you're trying to build, then then there's no point of it,
Empty,
right?
yeah, there's no point.
Right?
How should it stand?
Yeah, it can't, bro. It can't. You know?
That's right.
And it says, verse 7, how much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she hath in her heart, for she saith in her heart, Salakia.
That's right. So America was built off of slavery, and is still being maintained off of slavery.
Yeah.
So guess what? When we get in the kingdom, what America has done to get America to where it is, and where it was, and where it is now, we're gonna do double.
Yeah.
We're gonna do double.
In righteousness.
In righteousness, man.
It is a righteous thing with the Lord to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
Exactly.
Right? That's right, right?
But a lot of our own people have something against that. Like they don't want to get revenge. But that's also why 2/3 of Israel needs to be destroyed, man. Because they are literally on Esau's side. They are heathens.
Yeah.
They're not Jake no more.
Yeah.
They're heathens.
In the flesh, man.
Yeah. Because they're not keeping the customs.
Yeah.
No, they're not. They're shaving their head bald if they need.
Yeah.
If the job asks them to, they'll do it. Okay? If Esau asks them, if the woman asks them to get a lineup, they'll do it. You know? They'll walk through the churches and praise on Jesus Christ. But they'll scorn on Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're not Jake no more, man.
Yeah. That's right. That's right, Ab. And it says, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshua who judged her.
So you can imagine, man. You got what? So America, actually, let me just look this up real quick.
That's right, man. Because America right now, like that one verse that I just recently read, goes into how the pride of America has gone sky roof, man. And the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to bring America down, right? The scripture says that, for they shall build what I will throw down, man. Now, building goes into also their philosophies, right? And what they're trying to do with this planet, okay? All of the agendas, that they're trying to push, they're continuously building upon these things. They're always coming up with new ideas and so on and on. But the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is going to bring it down through his prophets, and his prophets are going to speak the truth, which comes directly from the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, man. So all of these things that the Lord has spoken of is coming to pass. And that's why we are a nuisance to this society, man. Okay, the society hates us. But the scripture says that, that they don't only hate you, but they hate me as well, man. And that me is talking about the Lord Yahweh Shai, and that if the society hates Yahweh Shai, then they hate Yahweh. And so pretty much we are here on the behalf of the Lord Yahweh Shai to warn the people, okay, and to tell them, get right, man. The Lord is coming back. Okay, the society is crumbling. Okay, wake the hell up, man. Otherwise, you will be taken away, okay, with the philosophies and the deceits and the iniquities of this place, man. That's what the scripture earlier said. Come out of her, my people, for ye be not partakers of her sins, man. Okay, and so that goes to show you, man, that you gotta wake the hell up, man. Okay, and don't put this work from day to day, man. Okay, if you're learning right now, the scriptures, washing bitters, etc., okay, continue to do that, but wake the hell up, man. Okay, you don't want to just continue, to do that forever, man.
You want to apply actions to what
Exactly.
you knowledge you have.
Exactly, man.
This is so it says the U.S. and Russia poses a comparable number of nuclear warheads together. These two nations possess more than 90% of the world's nuclear warheads. Them two alone possess more than 90% of the world's nuclear warheads.
That's right.
So you can imagine the type of destruction America is going to be under when you got missiles, ICBM missiles. So yeah, that's America.
Yeah.
That's America all the way down here in little old Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
That's America. You got men in skirts celebrating, dancing in skirts. But back to what I was saying, man, that's going to be one hell of a destruction. No wonder the scriptures say the world should be rocking to and fro. Can you imagine 55 missiles, 35 missiles being tossed back and forth between each other? That's going to be a great day for us, man. The low room, we're going to be electric, we're going to be in the chariots. Right? In our nice body, sipping on wine, waiting to come out and start wrapping up our sleeves,
Yo,
man.
can you imagine the feeling, bro? Just
in your body, in your angelic state, both mentally and physically.
Bro, just
sipping on stuff that you've never even tasted the material of. You never even tasted, like, what ingredient is this? You haven't even made it yet.
Yo, just thinking about it puts you in a state of, it's almost like as if you're whole again,
Yeah,
just thinking about it, man. Can you imagine being pure, bro? Pure, clean spirit, okay? Full energy, like in the days of your youth.
Yeah.
Okay, coming down to do the work of the Lord, man. The creator of the universe.
And then you come down out of the chairs in the lineup of a host of other brothers.
Oh man.
How shy at the top.
And then knowing that you're gonna live forever, no more death, have the abundance of everything, being able to go to different planets, man. You're gonna look at LeBron or Kobe like, man, you guys had shit. You had so-called fame.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, that didn't mean nothing,
man,
bro.
The stuff that Esau, or the riches and the fame that Esau gave Jake, Jake that sold out ain't shit. Literally, compared to what Esau has, it's like 90. Like we said last week, happy meals and toys. Mm-hmm. Compared to what Yahushua is gonna give us,
and then some.
If Esau's riches and technology is not even in the same league as Yahushua's, how much more us compared? Like, come on, man.
Hey, the scripture says that we shall mount up like eagles. You know how far eagles can see? Yo, we're gonna have the vision, bro, 100, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100.
It's not gonna be 2020, bro. You're gonna be able, these are just little things, but bro, these are huge as well, man.
Well, that's what we meditate on, guys. We need to keep meditating on those things because, Esau's society, the wicked vibration in the society is only getting deeper and heavier every day.
Yeah,
It's
because
not getting lighter.
yeah,
So if you're not getting stronger, you are putting yourself, there's like a scale, a spectrum. Yahushai, Esau. You want to be closer to Yahushai. But every time, every day that goes by, the vibration from Esau is getting heavier. And if your spirit's not getting stronger, you're getting pulled over
Pulled
to
as
go
well.
there.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
It might not dawn onto you until a month or 3 months down the road.
Yeah.
But it started 3 months down the road.
That's right. That's right. Because just going back to what you were saying, like how that the fame of this world, like you can get fame in righteousness and fame in wickedness, right? The celebrities of our people in this world have gotten fame in wickedness because when you go into that word fame, it comes from the word famine, which is hunger. So our people that sold out, they were hungry, for the wickedness of Esau's portion, man. And so Esau gave him, right? Esau, pretty much, Esau pretty much like, gave our people crumbs, of his leftovers, and he doesn't even want no more.
Crumbs of his leftovers. Not
Right?
even crumbs of the main meal.
Right? That's
The
crazy.
leftovers.
Yeah. But the Lord went to prepare a place. So that means that you've gotten the first of the first, man. That's why they let us call the first fruits.
Yeah. Yeah.
The best.
The best. They're the best of the best, right?
Yeah.
The creme de la creme.
Yeah. Huh. And it says, verse 9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
That's right, man. So a lot of these other nations, man, like China, for instance, we were just talking about that. The state of China, they can't wait for America to be bombed and destroyed. So a lot of these other nations that are fed up with being under the rulership of America, they're waiting for America to be bombed. And once America is bombed, they're gonna step right back and they let the whole thing happen. And like they say, wash your hands off America.
Yeah.
Because if there's any nation that's gonna be able to take down America, it's gonna be Russia, and every other nation in the world knows that.
Yeah.
It's those two superheads that are going at it, man.
And they're both Edomites.
And they're fighting.
Yeah,
they're both Edomites.
Uh-huh.
So you know what? These other nations, they watch, and it's happening right now. Slowly, you got people of the other nations that live in America are moving away from them, are moving out, are packing their stuff, closing up their business, closing up shop, and leaving. They're going back home, taking their business back home.
Yeah.
Because why make America rich when you can make your own nation rich? That's the idea. Because if you start a business in America, you're just building the economy there.
And then just going backwards, as in going into debt to build the business.
Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of times, right, like you see people who own gas stations. Yeah, you know what? They do have a nice house, but you don't know how much in debt they are.
Yeah,
You don't know, bro.
they're constantly paying God knows what, how much every month.
Yeah.
To keep that shit up afloat.
Yeah, to keep the business alive, to pay for their house, and if they got kids,
Yeah.
children. All of these things come into
That's
play.
why a lot of these, these smart ass Edomites, man. A lot of these people in the other nations that have these nice jobs because they have these big businesses, and you see them drive like a Honda Accord, something basic. And you're like, oh man, they're humble. They're humble people. No, they can't afford anything else.
It's leased.
It's leased, yeah, man.
Yeah.
They're out here. They have to put in so much money to keep up with the bills of a mansion that they have because of the business they're running. They can't afford another nice car under that. But people will say, oh, that's a humble man. It's a humble man. Yeah, fuck out of here. That's not a humble man. If he had the money to get a jet, he'd get a jet.
Yeah. That's right.
You have a little bit of change when you can fool anybody in society.
That's true. Verse 10, standing afar off, for the scares of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is that judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her for no man buys their merchandise anymore.
Yeah, man. And it's not like when it says weep with them, they're going to be crying, but they're going to be in shock. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, America's finished now. Everything, if we had businesses, if we had ties or hands in America,
Yeah, it's all done.
it's all done.
Yeah.
It's all done.
Yeah, so you're gonna have a lot of people who are gonna lose their mind because
Yeah.
they've literally indulged and built everything. They give their whole for America and for their business and for their future. So once that main plan, that business goes down, then their whole life is gone down. So that's why you're gonna have a lot of celebrities who are gonna be bums in the street, and no one's gonna care
Yeah.
because you're not out there in the media like that anymore.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
is on the same level now.
Yeah. Same playing field.
Exactly, exactly. And it says, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and the pearls of fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all fine wood and all manner vessel of uri and manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon odors and ointment and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beast and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men and the fruit of thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which are dainty and goodly are, yes, like a dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all.
That's right. So all the resources that were highly sought after by every other nation are going to be found no more, in America, and no more to get. And it's funny because all these other nations are okay with that because they're planning to take over the new world after the destruction of, or after really the Third World War. And it's funny because while each nation is preparing, once the smoke clears, each nation is preparing to take over the world and who's going to be the new super nation. Here we are going to come out the chariots and start busting heads out of nowhere. Bam, boom, these chariots come down, beaming, laser beams. Brothers come out the chariots in their attire, right?
Yeah.
More like attire.
Fully loaded.
Fully loaded, yeah.
Never running out of energy.
Yeah, never.
With like never running out of powers, and being able to use these skills. Because Esau is blessed with the sword, but there's a time that Esau gotta reload, man. We won't have to do that. It's just in us, man.
Yeah, we'll have that stamina.
Damn, man. Okay, that's cool, man. The Lord's gonna bless us. Jeez. Yeah.
Walking freely right now.
yo, this is like, it reminds me of, the one prophet where they had like, about 400 kids who were saying, I'll go out that ball, and the Lord sent 2 she-bears and devoured them.
All you women walking out here roosting, man.
Just
Watch,
like
man.
exposed,
It's exposed, man. It's like, it has, and you might not see it now or understand what we're seeing now, but when all big suits are wearing wash you on, you're gonna think twice just to walk from here to the supermarket, let alone walk up and down in daylight, for 3 hours because the festival is going on.
Yeah.
In all types of tightness, manner of clothing and skirts and whatnot, man. But when martial arts are here loose, you're gonna think twice before stepping out here alone. And men get hungry in the time of war.
physically, in all ways,
right? Like, what does the scripture say that, you go ramp up the booty, right? All the booty after a war, you ramp it up. That includes women and all the riches.
Men get hungry, bro.
Yo, men get hungry, man. Anyways, man.
Hey,
You're not gonna see it. You guys are gonna see it. You're Esau. It's okay. Esau has your back right now.
Right now, exactly.
Esau's letting you do your freedom.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like a lot of men, like even in that one show, the colony, right?
Yeah.
the one guy, the one Jake, what's his name?
Broussard.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
He is a great definition of pretty much what the elect men of the Lord are gonna be like.
Yeah, man.
They're gonna be by themselves. They know right from wrong.
Oh, that's it. Like it's right. Yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's actually a man's nature.
Yeah.
You know?
Natural state of being.
Right? Like when shit hits the fan, they can kick back and just observe everything and be on their own and focus, bro.
Yeah,
They don't need-
poised.
yeah.
They're not swayed by their emotions.
Yeah.
A lot of you women out here you guys are already naturally swayed by your emotions in a time of so-called peace.
Yeah.
How much more when all hell breaks loose?
Yeah.
A lot of you men, because you follow your woman, are gonna be swayed by your emotions.
Yeah. Now you're gonna be like, oh, should I do this?
Should I do that shit? No, man. Make a decision and make a decision. Like you said, man, you're right. But Broussard is a great example in that show of that.
Yeah.
You know, you never see him getting
He's-
too high,
he's
never
very
getting too
stern.
low. Very stern.
Just one way.
That's it.
And even there was that one episode where he met that girl, and they went to this one other guy's vehicle to pretty much pick up something, and the girl, she made a statement about that one guy and saying, can you imagine yourself living in this van for 2 years, because that guy was kind of losing himself, right?
Yeah.
And then later, she came back to her natural senses, and said, "Oh, actually, you might actually like that, you know what I mean? Because it goes to show, right?
The white girl he was traveling with.
Yeah.
Can you imagine him? He's like, you know what? Wait, you actually might like that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cause she saw, because his personality was like, again, he want nothing to do with anybody that had to do with the world.
Yeah.
And Esau be putting those kind of characters in movies to represent the elect.
Yeah.
The men that you should, because it's funny because in that show, men like that are always sought after by the state.
Yeah.
They're always like, yo, catch this guy.
Because it's a threat.
Yeah, he's a threat.
Yeah.
Just like the elect are, and they're gonna be doing the same thing to us. Look for these kind of people. Remember when those guys were out there preaching the signs? They had like a tire.
Yeah.
Remember what he looked like?
Yeah, cardboard. Those guys with the cardboard.
Cardboard, yeah.
Like it was in that movie 2012.
2012,
They made a statement. Those guys out there with the cardboard signs were right.
Yeah, they're right.
You know?
They're right.
That's what they're saying. Like in that movie before the end of the world. 2012 movie.
Just come to see it.
And it says, verse 14, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after and are departed from thee, and all things which are dainty and goodly are departed from thee.
I thought he's going to turn on his TV or something.
Are departed from
Turn
thee.
it down.
And thou shalt find them no more at all. It says, the merchandise of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing.
Yeah, man. When your brother's getting that licking, from your dad, and you're kind of like, yo, let me just stick downstairs and let me come in the crosshair with that.
Yeah.
That's a state that these other nations are gonna be
Yeah,
in.
they're gonna be like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
Because
Like Esau gets whooping. Esau's gonna get America's gonna ass whooping from the Most High.
yeah, that's right. Verse 16, saying, Alas, that great city, that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust into their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that bad ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh hath revenged you on her. Verse 21. And a mighty angel stood up on a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all.
Just like that great millstone in Nebuchadnezzar's dream, which represented Yahushai. Yahushai is going to be that great millstone that destroys the kingdoms and gnashes and breaks apart the different nations. It's already thinking of America.
That's right. Verse 22. And the voice of harpers and musicians and pipers and trumpets shall be heard no more at all in thee.
So, you know, the ball drop in July 4th at New York, no longer are you going to be able to see or hear any of that shit.
And no craftsman, and whatsoever craft he be, shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee, and the lights of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by the sorceries were all nations deceived. Sorceries. By sorceries were all nations deceived.
Exactly.
That wine, bro.
That wine, yeah, that music, music, television, the different shows.
Yeah, program.
Yeah, I heard that they even got like Family Guy playing out there in India.
They got what in India?
Family Guy playing out there in India. So like, yo, it's it's America has all type. It's funny because Hollywood is an enchantment.
Yeah.
Right? It's an enchantment. It actually goes back to a stick, a hollow wood that you would use as a wand.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that whole America as itself is a vibrating enchant. It's a mantra. It's sounding out chants to the whole world. Through all the different vibrations.
Last verse 24. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth.
That's right. In her was found all the blood of the prophets and the saints, all that slain.
And the blood, and the land cannot be cleansed by but by the blood of him that shed it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the nation of Esau.
That's right.
That was it on that chapter.
That was it on that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So with that, we're going to close up and we're going to say
Yahweh wa Yahawashi ba'ashem racha kodash.
double honors to the apostles, the elders of great millstone. Salutations to the elect, whose word and truth and sincerity are brought to forefront to the earth.
Yeah.
Death and destruction to his wicked kingdom, to the of Israel, and Esau as well.
That's right.
Shalom.
Shalom. Okay.